All right. You know what time it is. Neil Ratner Rock Doc here with a story. Today, one of music's greatest songwriters, Joni Mitchell, celebrates her 78th birthday. So I thought I would tell you a few things about Joni Mitchell that you might not know. And as usual, a little background first. So the past few years have been tough for Joni after suffering a major stroke, but she is recovering, although slowly. And today, as I said, I thought in honor of her birthday, it would be nice to tell you a few things about Joni Mitchell. All right, but as usual, a little background first. Now, although Joni studied a little classical piano in her youth, her passion was really for painting. And to this day, she still maintains that painting was and is her first love, and music was more or less something incidental that just happened to come along. Now, as a teenager, Joni bought a Pete Seeger instructional record to teach herself how to play the ukulele. Not that she cared so much for the instrument, but so that she would be invited to the beer drinking parties of her peers. She knew she played an instrument that would make her more interesting. She was kind of shy, and so that's what she decided to do. Okay. And although the free thinking Joni Mitchell hated formal education, one teacher made enough of an impression to get Mitchell to start writing poetry by telling her that if she could paint with a brush, she could paint with her words. Nice, right? Paint with a brush, paint with her words, paint with notes. It's all similar. Okay. Art was still her first love, but after a year in art college, Joni realized that music had become more important to her. And art school kind of, fell off into the past, into the background. And she actually dropped out of art school at the age of 20 to start pursuing a career in music. So she began playing. Joni's Canadian. She began playing at a club in Toronto. And one night, fellow musician Chuck Mitchell took notice. Now, the two began hanging out, playing together, and Chuck convinced Joni to come to the States with him, where they got married. Now, okay, their marriage and partnership ended when they divorced in early 1967, and Joni moved to New York City to continue to follow her musical path as a solo artist. Now, she performed in coffee houses and folk clubs, and she was starting to become known for her unique songwriting and her innovative guitar style. Okay, now, so Joni's playing, she's playing in clubs, up and down the East Coast. And one night, she's playing in a club in Coconut Grove, Florida, when who should walk in but none other than David Crosby. And of course, David was immediately struck by her ability and her appeal as an artist. And so he befriended Joni and eventually convinced her to come to LA, where he set about introducing her and her music to his friends. And that was the whole Laurel Canyon scene. I think there's a Netflix documentary on Laurel Canyon and the people up there. And, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Jackson Browne and Joni Mitchell. And I'm sure it was quite a scene. I was on the East Coast. Never got to participate, but that was happening out there. Now, Joni eventually got a deal, and she was signed to Reprise Records, and Crosby convinced Reprise to let Mitchell record a solo acoustic album without the folk rock overdubs in vogue at the time. Joni was a special artist, and her music and her songwriting certainly could stand alone. So Mitchell toured steadily to promote the LP, and there was eager anticipation for Joni's second album, which was called Clouds, and that one produced her first Grammy Award, first of many, I might say. Her next album, Ladies of the Canyon, followed, and that was an instant smash hit on FM radio. But it was really her fourth album, Blue, which critics loved, and it's considered by many one of the best albums of all time. If you haven't heard it, take a listen. Just lay back and listen, and make sure you pay attention to Joni's words, because she was an incredible wordsmith. She is an incredible wordsmith. All right. Now, Joni was famous, and although she appreciated the fact that people were drawn to her music, the fame that came with it was not something she was fond of at all. And in the early days, she would actually just disappear into the British Columbia wilderness for a while. Did not like the fame. And many rock stars don't. Many don't handle it well, as we know, but at any rate, that was Joni. Now, of course, Joni Mitchell has received many, many accolades over the years, including 9 Grammy Awards. And in 1997, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rolling Stone has called her one of the greatest songwriters ever. And AllMusic has stated, when the dust settles, Joni Mitchell may stand as the most important and influential female recording artist of the late 20th century. You know what do they say? There was, the 3. I know it's Joni and Carol and blah, and then everybody else. Carole King, Joni Mitchell, and who was the other great female songwriter of that time? Can't think right now. At any rate, if you know who it is, tell me in one of the comments. All right. That's my story today. I never had the opportunity to see Joni Mitchell play live, that is. In later years, Joni developed a fear of flying. She didn't really tour that much. As I said, she hated the fame of it all. And whatever, but her music is great. And it's not just Chelsea Morning and some of the stuff you've heard. Delve a little deeper into Joni Mitchell, and you'll see why everybody thinks she is such a great writer and artist. All right, that's my story for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll have another story. Well, you know where to find me around the internet, and DST, iHeartRadio, on the weekends, 3 o'clock, stories there. And I'll have a reading in this coming week. All right, that's it. It's beautiful here. Don't know how it is where you are, but have a great day. And as I said before, and I'll say again, always remember to keep on rocking. All right, bye for now.